Thank you so much for tuning into this video and for trusting us with your membership. I got some great feedback after our last video. One, I had a bad echo, so hopefully this sound is better. I am going to invest in a mic that works with my computer, my phone. Anyways, you don't need all those details. Anyways, I appreciate your feedback, so please keep it coming. Let me know how I can make these better for you. Another thing that someone let me know was I still got too deep into details before giving you guys an overview of the why. And my ultimate hope is to help you in your journey to exceptional wellness. So today I'm going to start with the overview, and I'm going to add these little nuggets into each session so you can find out, one, why are we covering what we're covering? Two, how to use this information to make it the most useful for you. And then three, is this video today, this one that you're watching at this moment, relevant for you at this time? So I want to be able to do those things for each session. And again, please keep your feedback coming. It helps me make these videos better for you. So thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. So first of all, you have signed up as a member of Exceptional Wellness Coaching. If you didn't know that, that's part of what you signed up for. And so now you know. And the reason that we do this is because we have seen for decades how hard it is to navigate the wellness space. There's just a lot of information out there, and there's a lot of noise. There's a lot of people trying to sell you all kinds of different things. And it's very challenging to know what is the right thing for me, what is the right thing for me right now, and then it's really hard to do it all by yourself all the time. So we have coaching available to help walk you through those changes, to help be your partner, to really help you find answers, help you figure out, why am I stuck in this one spot? Why am I at this plateau? What do I need to do differently so that I can see that next step of change? So I can see that next step of health that I'm working towards. What is it that I need to do to unlock that next thing? And, we're also helping create systems that help support that change as you make it. So that's why we do it. So I want to start with the why, right? Any change that we make, and I want very much so to help you stop shaming yourself, because many of you, we've sat down, we've had conversations, we've had tissues and tears and, some laughter, but there's a lot of shame that I hear in, well, I don't this and I didn't that, and I know I should this, and I should work out more, and I should eat better, and I should, not get up and have late night snacks, and I've been bad to my body, and just over and over we beat ourselves up about where we are. And I get it, like totally get it. We're always our worst critic. I also know that that's not going to help, right? Like, it's not going to help you get any healthier to beat on yourself about how you didn't do all the things for whatever reason. What is going to help is figuring out why. Like, what is it that's blocking you? And to do that, there's a couple of things that you need to start with. One, you'll remember in your intake packet, maybe you won't because there's a lot in there and I get it, but think back, there was a short readiness assessment that you did. And that short assessment asks you a couple of key questions. And what we're getting at is, what is your motivation for making the change? Sometimes it's your children. That's what it was for me. I wanted to be a good role model for my girls. And so I was like, I've got to figure this out. Like, I can't just keep doing this binge and starve thing that I'm doing. That's not what I want for my children. I don't want them to, I know it's not healthy. Like, I knew it wasn't healthy for me. It was the only thing I knew that would work, but it wasn't working anymore. And I was getting sick, and I was getting less, my body looked less the way I wanted it to. And so I knew it wasn't working, and I knew I needed to do something. And that was my why, I wanted to look better. That was another why. So you have to know, what are your motivations for making these changes? Why do you want to be healthy? And I can tell you, the more you spend time on this, the better your results are going to be, because you are going to have to really face yourself in some ways to learn what it is that's got you stuck. And when you face those things, the more that you understand your why, the more that you can really have leverage on yourself. And that's really the first component to change. So you have to have leverage on yourself. And what does that mean? So for every single thing that we do, and this is a crazy thought, but it's true. For every single thing that we do it because we're avoiding pain or seeking pleasure. So if you think about, I don't exercise. A lot of people tell me I don't exercise because I hurt, right? You're avoiding pain, seeking pleasure. I want to not hurt, right? That's pleasure, but it's the absence of pain. I don't want to hurt. Got it. I don't exercise because I don't have time, which usually actually means like I don't want to give up time doing something else that I enjoy in order to go exercise. So you're avoiding pain, seeking pleasure. So all of our changes are going to have to be in alignment with something that helps us seek pleasure. And one of the things that we do all the time, and we don't even think about it, we don't even realize it, is we rehearse these things that we find painful, whatever, over and over, or pleasureful. Like, thinking about, I want to sit on the couch and watch Netflix. Or, right now, post Thanksgiving, everybody's got football and, we're thinking about the next thing that we're going to enjoy, or we're thinking about how we're going to avoid the next painful thing. So we have to start having a different conversation with ourselves about these things. So let's take working out. For me, when I first started working out, I had 3 small kids. One of the reasons I didn't work out consistently is, one, it was expensive for me to pay for a gym membership. But if I was really honest with myself, there were areas that I could cut spending in other areas so that I could spend that money. So, okay, cost, yes, but I could spend the money. So what else is it? Time. Going to the gym was a time commitment. I had to drive to the gym. I had to have workout clothes. I had to do the workout. I had to leave the gym. It was a lot of extra time in what felt like an impossible schedule. So I didn't want to give up time. I already felt overwhelmed, honestly, trying to cook, work, take care of kids, get them to and from school, their activities. Like, it was a lot to manage. So I was like, I can't do anything else in my schedule. Like, this, it seems impossible. But again, if I really thought about it, where are areas that I could do something? And I had a lunch break that a lot of times I could finish eating before my whole lunch break was up. And I only had a 30-minute lunch break back then. So, it's not like I had a long time. But, I didn't need a whole long time to eat because I was usually reheating leftovers or something. And so it really wasn't a big deal for me to have some extra time. So I started thinking creatively, what can I do? But it all had to start with me finding a reason that was powerful enough, pleasurable enough for me to do the activity. One of the things that I used really early on was having a buddy. So I had a buddy who would run with me twice a week. And it was really enjoyable, actually. We didn't run really fast. We had good conversations. And that was enough for me to get some momentum going. So, enlist a buddy. You've probably got people in your life who would love to do something with you. They may not even enjoy the walk or the, sitting and doing a circuit or whatever. But my point is, you've got to find something worth the effort. And it doesn't have to be the same thing forever. But you need to always have something that you have kind of like your carrot. This is what I'm working towards and why. So that why is very, very important. The next thing that you need is you've got to have, so I said leverage, and then you need to have basically what am I going to do? You have a pattern right now. Every time you think about exercise, something happens, right? You have a thought, I don't do that because, I don't do that because, I don't do that because, that doesn't fit in my life because. Whatever that pattern is, and I promise it's probably the same conversation that you have with yourself every single time it comes up. So you need to recognize what is that pattern. And then, if you guys didn't read the book Tiny Habits, please go read it. It's amazing. You use those tools to build a new habit. So that is a pattern. That's a habit. It's a ritual. You could call it whatever you want. It's the same thing. It's a pattern. And it needs to be interrupted if you're going to see change. So first you've got the leverage, right? The why. Why do I want to do this? What pain am I avoiding by doing this? And look, by exercising, I know And that was another thing for me, is I know that I am avoiding future pain, right? I watched my mom deal with chronic disease. I watched my siblings deal with diseases. I've watched plenty of people as a nurse deal with diseases. And I know that the fitter people don't show up in the hospital very often. It is very rare that I see somebody who is in fit shape who ends up in the hospital with some kind of major illness. More times than any, it are people who are not fit, right? And they can be skinny but not fit. So people who work out get sick less, and that was very important to me. I don't want to be sick. I don't want to be suffering like these people. Like, my heart breaks for them, and I don't want to be in that situation. So I had a nice current reminder all the time of what I didn't want to happen to me. So having that set, right, you have your leverage, and then you have to figure out what I'm going to do different. And so you have to figure out, where can I become aware of this pattern, right? So you have your anchor, the ABCs of the tiny habits, your anchor. What is the thing that routinely happens? For me, it became, when I wake up, I go work out, because I wake up every day, thank God. And, when I do, that's the next step, is I go work out. At first, like I said, it was my lunch break, and it was only 2 days a week, but my lunch break happened. I knew I was hungry. I knew it was time to go eat. It wasn't hard for me to remember to do that. It was my anchor. I did my thing, and I moved on with my day. So you have to have your anchor, have your behavior planned, okay? And then the C, if you guys watched last week, you know that the C is for celebrate. And this is hugely important. It actually rewires our brain. So in chapter 5 of Tiny Habits, he talks about basically repeating the pattern when you're learning to do a new habit, okay? So let's just pretend that I am going to start a new habit of packing clothes to go to work, to do a workout during my lunch break, right? Because that was really where the habit started, was I couldn't go run if I didn't have running shoes and I didn't have something to change into. So I needed to remember to pack that. And that was not something I'd had as a normal part of my pre-work packing. So I had to start doing that. And, every time that I would get in the car and I would see my bag with my stuff in there, it was like a little part of me was like, yes, you did it. Like, look at you. You are ready for the day. And, you can actually set yourself up for success if you do this 5 or 7 times in a row. It sounds silly. It's going to feel silly. It's going to feel ridiculous. But your brain will remember. So, like, if you literally, like I'm looking at my backpack right now, right? This is where my backpack goes. It goes right beside my computer desk. And in the mornings, I get all my stuff ready. I come grab my backpack. Well, I can literally go pack my clothes. This sounds silly, I know. Pack my workout clothes, put them beside my computer bag, and like be proud of myself. Yes, I did it. Go undo it all and go do it again. Like I said, I know it sounds silly, but if you do that 5 to 7 times in a row and celebrate yourself every single time, it's going to feel silly, but you're going to rewire your brain. So the next time you go to that spot and you look at your bag, you are going to think about your workout clothes. So having that pattern, what am I going to do different? The anchor, the behavior, and the celebration. Do all 3 of those. You're going to rewire your brain, right? And so this is how habits are formed. Y'all, if you aren't to the place yet where you have enough leverage on yourself, like if it's just like a meh, I need to do this because, and it'll be fine if I don't. You're not there yet. And I don't mean that like you need to wait for a time for that to happen. It's in you. I promise, you signed up for a membership. You paid money, a lot of money, to do this because there is a reason in there. So I know for certain that there is a why that is big enough to get you to do this and to take it to the level that you want it to be, for you to have the success that you desire. It is in you. I absolutely know that without a doubt. And so you have the ability to change, and you have the want to. It's got to get to a must. It can't be a should. It's got to get to a must in order for you to actually take action. And that just takes some time of you really, like I said, doing that deep digging, and it's uncomfortable, but figuring out like, what is it going to cost me if I don't change? avoid that pain. For me, it was going to cost me having my kids see a role model that was not healthy. It was going to cost me possibly having one of my girls have an eating disorder, which, because that's basically what I had, was I would starve myself to lose a few pounds, and then I would binge and I would go back and forth, and that was not healthy, right? And I watched my sister deal with stuff, and like, that was not what I wanted for my girl. So even though I felt like I had it under control, I was not being a healthy model for them. And I did not want that for them. I wanted to be a role model for my kids. Like, I wanted to know that I know that I know that I showed them how to treat your body in a healthy way. And I know that, right? So I avoided that pain. And thankfully, none of my girls have had an eating disorder. And I'm so proud of them. And I really think a lot of it has to do with me desiring change because I wanted it for them. It was worth it to me to do it for them. So find your why, find your leverage, right? And then go after it, right? And look, your do might have to change. You might figure out, look, packing my clothes and having them ready at the door isn't actually enough because I still get to work and this gets in the way and blah, blah, blah. So you might have to do a couple of iterations and say, okay, well, this is not the activity that's going to get me to success. But celebrate, you found one way that didn't work, and find a different way. And if you need help, I am happy to. That's what our coaches do. We help people all the time come up with creative solutions. But I promise you probably already got a couple of ideas that are really great. And, the first one may not work, and that's okay. I found a lot of things that didn't work, and I just kept trying. And sometimes the thing that I'm doing right now might not work in a year. So I will find another thing that works. And I've had to change it over the years, and I'm just not mad at myself about it because I understand that changing it doesn't make the goal any less obtainable. It just means that I might have to do it a different way for right now. If I were to injure myself, I would know that I could find a different way through that injury to still obtain my exercise goals because I value it enough, and I have had to change for different reasons over the years enough to where I really trust my ability to figure it out. Like, I know there are enough smart people out there who have figured it out before me, who have dealt with whatever I'm dealing with, who have a plan. I can Google it and I will find it out, and so can you. So anyways, wanted to give you that encouragement. This is a primer. If you are watching this video and this is your first video, awesome, you did it in order. If you are watching this video and you, whatever, maybe you need to repeat and revisit this at some time. I don't know. But I wanted to really set the stage for why we're doing this and where to start. You've got to start with your why. You've got to start with that internal stuff. And then everything else is a building and habits on top of that. So anyways, wanted to start there. Thank you very much again for being a part of this and for investing in yourself.